sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea, I'll see the sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. Shine,
Well, who would have thought in the final days of the regular season we would be treated with a clash of the best two teams in the East here, not just once but twice, but tonight is the first of those two games. Welcome to the CAA Center, Dunning Sarah here, and what a treat for hoop fans. Scarborough, Brampton battling out for a chance to not only prove themselves, but also get maybe a little revenge on the Brampton side, and also what could be a preview of the East Finals. And what a 48 hours it's been for Brampton so far. Just 2 nights ago, they beat Montreal on the road by a basket, which clinched themselves a playoff berth, their first time in 2 years. And then last night, late last night, at least on the East Coast, Calgary, who had nothing to play for, defeated Niagara, which clinched a playoff, clinched the second seed for the Brampton Honey Badgers, the first time that we'll have a playoff game here in the Flower City. Now, You hear all that and you think, Brampton, what do you got to play for? With Scarborough on the other side, looking to get to 20 wins on the season with 2 games left, both against Brampton. They're trying to get to 20 and have the best win total in CEBL history. And talking to the staff and the players of the Brampton team, they certainly want to play spoilers. And if you love stars, you got plenty of them in this game. A lot of guys in the top 5 in statistical categories. You got 3 of the best scorers in the league. You got the best rebounder, the best assist getter, efficient scorers, and 2 guys that like to get done in target time as well. So that's just the appetizer. In case you want the whole meal, we need some table setting, and we got 2 guys that love to set the table, and that's my guy, Joe Razzo, Matt Bonomi. Fellas, we eating, and I'm real hungry. Hopefully you guys are as well.
D, catch your breath. Take a second, my friend. We've got a chair over here for you if you want to come sit with us. Matt Bonomi alongside the coach, Joe Razzo, and D put that perfectly, Joe. Everything that you needed to know right there in the opening. But these are 2 teams in the East, 1 and 2, Scarborough and Brampton, that you could say, well, meaningless games. Maybe some games don't have as much importance, but these teams both want to win.
Yeah, and let's explain why. In Brampton's case, that they're still trying to better their record so that potentially if they held the championship game against somebody with a record equivalent, they might have more home games. So it's the big picture if you're Brampton. If you're Scarborough, you want that record. That's something that they want. And the Scarborough guys, the nice thing is it's tough to pull guys out. And so I think both these teams will be playing a little bit more freer than they usually do, but it will be exciting and entertaining.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned this season, it's that the Scarborough Shooting Stars don't take their foot off the gas. Let's take a look at some matchup stats tonight for the game between the Honey Badgers and Shooting Stars. And the Shooting Stars certainly can find the bottom of the bucket, but one of the things that they lead the league in, rebounding. They lead the league in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and rebounds per game.
Yeah, and if you look at that rebounding ranking, like that's a big number difference between them and Brampton. Brampton's number 2. So that's just how dominant they've been. So they score a lot on second chance baskets. Brampton, on the other hand, 89, but they play a pretty good solid defense, controlling the pace, controlling the tempo. I think tonight the pace is going to be quick. I think you're going to need a 10-second shot clock rather than a 24-second shot clock.
All right, let's check back in with D, who's standing by with Brampton head coach Alex Serta.
Coach, you've clinched that 2nd seed. Tonight, how do you find that balance between not risking your chances game on Thursday, but also being competitive?
Yeah, we're just going to play the game in front of us. Every single time we lace our shoes up, we want to win. So we're going to do the things that go into winning one possession at a time.
On the other side, we know there's a team trying to chase that 20-win season. How do you use that motivation and the guys fired up to be potential spoilers here tonight?
Yeah, for us, it's about challenging our guys just to do the things that go into winning, try to put our best foot forward. And we really don't care about those narratives at the end of the day. We just got to take care of business.
Best of luck tonight, Coach. Back to you, Matt.
It's Brampton, it's Scarborough, it's the top 2 squads in the East facing off for the first of 2 in a home-and-home. We've got it on the other side. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Electrolyte. Instant hydration.
Back inside the CAA Center, the Honey Badgers hosting the Shooting Stars. Joe, you've identified some keys to the game presented by CDIC. First for the visiting Scarborough squad.
Yeah, intensity and urgency. Make winning bigger than a stat if you're Scarborough. You know, you got to play it, and right now that's the key thing for them. They just got to play hard and play to win. Nothing about standings or anything. Then the second one, let the offense get you your shots. Don't make your shot the offense. Don't turn into a safari offense out here if you're Scarborough. And then 3 offensive rebounds. Show why you're the #1 offensive rebounding team in the league.
And for the home Honey Badgers, Joe, their keys to the game presented by CDIC are.
Yeah, you got #1 is you got to keep that backcourt in check. This backcourt, the starting backcourt of Scarborough averages 57 points between the 3 of them. The supporting cast, all they have to do is be stars in their roles, because right now they've got Sean East and Flowers to run the show for them, and then play freely. A team that's fearless is a team that's incredibly confident.
All right, let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First for the Shooting Stars, Terquavian Smith, Javen Johnson, Akoy Uat, Miles Powell, and Charles Bediaco. Miles Powell and Turk Smith, one of the most impressive backcourts in the CEBL. They'll face off another impressive backcourt here featuring Trenton Flowers and Sean East, and those two are joined by Keon Ambrose Hilton, Brandon Moontu, and Roddy Peters. No Matthew Moncrief tonight. He's unavailable, and Cam Tyson is also out of the lineup. All right, Joe, you've outlined a player to watch for each team, starting with the Shooting Stars.
So we're looking at 2 guys that combine 180 and combined total of field goal, 3-point shots, and free throws. That's a big number. Javon Johnson, this guy has been spectacular all season. He's my most underrated player. He's the guy that's kind of surprised me more than anyone this year. He has been consistent on both ends of the floor. He gets lots of touches. He shoots the 3 at over 40%. He's great at creating his own shot, and he has incredible length to go with that shot. So Javon Johnson, to me, has been the most valuable player on this Scarborough team.
And who are you keeping an eye on Brampton tonight?
So since he's come, Trenton Flowers, 25 points. You know, 32% from the 3, 91 from the free throw line. This guy is a talent. He's an NBA talent. Right out of high school, he's got deep range. He gets to his spots. He uses his size, but he uses his skill. He can get himself in the paint and orchestrate. He's good at scoring, but he's also good at facilitating the offense, getting people the ball. And if you want to throw it up in the air, he'll go and get it where nobody else can.
So the Shooting Stars enter with the league's best record, 18-4, first in the East. They already have that first seed clinched and home advantage throughout the playoffs. Brampton enters with a record of 11-11 after a big win the other night over Montreal. So tip-off presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL, and we asked the players and coaches about this 20-win potential for Scarborough. They're not shy. Frank Mitchell said to us, we're leaving tonight with 19 wins.
Yeah, one thing about this Scarborough team, you'll be hard-pressed to find anybody out here who's shy. They'll talk it up, boy. They back it up, and they play that way.
Shooting Stars ready to go. Honey Badgers ready to go. We are ready here in the Flower City. Brampton rocking the black Flower City unis. Scarborough wearing their whites tonight, the ends kits. Here's Moon 2. Driving inside, up with the right. First points for Brampton.
Yeah, Moon 2 wants to go right at Powell, and the lefty goes right but comes back to his left. Nice, strong finish.
Tonight's officials are Tommy Wu, Farhan Beg, and Troy Bennett. 3-ball up, 3-ball good. Turk Smith connects.
Yeah, Turk Smith has unbelievable range, and don't ever go under a screen when he's shooting the ball.
Ambrose Hilton slams it. What a response from Keon. Well, that's one of the guys that Alex Serta would love to unlock. Powell fires, and Powell connects. Smith and Powell, threes each.
From the same spot on the floor.
2 of 2 are the Shooting Stars from deep early. Here's Peters trying to work off the movement down low, and Bediako's got the board. Powell in transition. Bucket for the Shooting Stars. This time, Ekoy Ua.
Ekoy Ua has been just outstanding this year. First-year player who came through the community college ranks, played in Portugal this year. But his responsibility is to guard the best player on the other team.
Flowers drives. That goes out of bounds. Stay down at this end of the floor. Ua, one of the many players in the CEBL that spent time at NBA Summer League. He was with the champion New York Knicks. Here's Sean East in the corner. Flowers able to pull down the rebound with one arm. Peters on the baseline. Moontu thought about it. Now he will fire, and Bediako's got another easy board.
Scarborough comes at you quickly.
Oh, Smith, blink and you'll miss it. Turk, another triple.
We always talk about, good shots in transition. Turk couldn't care if that was 1 against 5. He hit that spot, and that's the magic spot today.
Oh, the magic spot is down low. Bediako swatting it into the front row.
Yeah, those are good reminder plays. That's where Bediako reminds Montu, I'm a footer.
So Charles Bediako comes up with a big swat, but Brampton will stay down at this end of the floor. Here's East. Flowers trying to work off contact, no call. Moontu bats it around, and instead Bediako wants to take it himself. Down low to Uod, and Keon Ambrose Hilton swats from behind.
Boy, 2 athletic Canadians attacking the basket there.
Peters up with the left, trying to sneak it through. Ambrose Hilton was out of bounds. Boy, the tempo early is high.
Yeah, and you know what? Bediako's hanging around the rim. If he doesn't block it, he lets you know he's there. So everything at the rim, you have to go at it and concentrate because Bediako is a threat.
First sub of the game, Michael Foster Jr. appearing in his 4th game of the season. He played a good chunk of last season with Scarborough. So he's back, one of the guys at a high school, Hillcrest Prep in Phoenix. Won a G League championship. Made an appearance in the NBA as well with the 76ers. Powell picked up his dribble, down low, Bediako. And Sean East has it. Looking up floor. East drops, Peters with a lane to the hoop, and he's fouled on the way up.
And you see the veteran move by Peters there. He knows that Bediako's up there swatting balls. What does he do? He changes hands. So all of a sudden now the shot blocker's caught in between. Instead of him extending where he thinks the ball's going to be, Peters goes underneath and gets himself to the free throw line.
Well, we just mentioned Michael Foster Jr. Roddy Peters Jr. also won a G League championship on the same team with the Delaware Bluecoats. Roddy Peters, 31 years old, a veteran. How important is a player like that to this team who hasn't even played in the CEBL, but he brings that kind of old school presence?
When you bring guys in late in the season, if you bring in veterans with a positive experience and a positive presence, it's so much easier.
2 points there for Peters, lead down to 5. Here's Miles Powell. Over to Smith. Dishes off into the corner. Wide open 3-ball in and out for Uot. And East is able to weasel the rebound. Trying to push in transition was Peters, but it's picked off. Numbers for the Shooting Stars. Powell calls his own number, picks up, and answers.
That left side of the court is pretty special right now for Scarborough.
Four of 5 from deep are the Shooting Stars to start. And that one goes out of bounds, so that'll give Tegra Ize a chance to check in for Brampton. And Kellen Tynes, who has been a thorn on the defensive end for about every team in the CEBL, also coming in. And we've got some extracurriculars around the Brampton bench here. Turk Smith, who's got a bit of a short fuse. We've seen that throughout the season. He subs off here, but not without a little dialogue with the Brampton bench.
Well, these two teams are going back-to-back, and who knows, they could be playing here again next Saturday, or sorry, playing against each other next Saturday.
Scarborough has had that reputation throughout the season. They're hard-nosed, they're rough, and they have fun doing it to other teams. But when you're the best in the league, you can do whatever you want. Within reason, I should say. Here's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Peters. Trying to go to work on Bediako. Bediako pushing him out, and that was hit to the other side of the floor. And the officials indicate it's a shot clock violation prior to the ball going out of bounds.
Bediako, fool me twice, shame on you situation there. He knew what Peters did to him before. He said, not this time, I'm going to react late.
So the former SEC all-freshman team member and Alabama. Strong defensive presence to start. 8-point lead for Scarborough. Smith thought about it, and instead he takes it himself for 2. So Turk Smith, 8 points so far. Brampton's got 6. Ise down low. He gets his first 2 points off the pine.
Both the bigs are running down the floor. Ise gets rewarded.
Here's Powell, pestered by East. Powell can't hit. Flowers rebound, his 3rd. Peters, quick pass down low. Muntu was ready for it and somehow gets through Bediako plus the foul.
And that's 2 now on Bediako. Brampton attacking the basket has paid off.
So Tynes, looks like they're going to give it to Tynes. So perhaps Scarborough catches a break there. Muntu at the line. Scan the QR code for your chance to win the ultimate CEBL finals trip, courtesy of redtag.ca. You could score round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and courtside seats for the CEBL finals. Visit cebl.ca/redtag for more details. So subs in for both teams on there. Johnson back in. Joining him, Frank Mitchell. Johnson off the bench to the bottom of the bucket.
This team is red hot right now, this Scarborough team.
Hard to catch them on a night off. Here's Muntu. Steps back. Smith got a piece of that 3 attempt. Ise up with the right for 2.
Yeah, Ise using his length. That jump hook makes the 7-footer even taller.
Tynes guarded by Bronson Chambers, who just checked into the game, seeing his first action of the season. He's added to the active roster today. That one goes out of bounds. So pace aplenty between these two teams. Back and forth, 16-11. Scarborough on top of Brampton. Check that, 19-13. Scarborough on top of Brampton. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. Back inside the CAA Center, the Scarborough Shooting Stars 19, the Brampton Honey Badgers 13. Mapanomi alongside Joe Razzo and Dee Balsera. And Joe, the first couple of minutes of this opening frame here, 5 3-pointers for the Shooting Stars on 7 attempts. They make roughly 10 a game. They've already hit half their number.
That's why I said you got to keep their backcourt in check. Like, there's all 3 guys in the backcourt have knocked down 3s, so that's 5 out of 7.
As play resumes here, let's check in with Dee, who's standing by.
Well, just to continue off that, Coach Serta telling his guys, hey, listen, we know that these guys are capable of hitting those shots, and I'm okay with them as long as they're contesting. So make sure we're contesting all the shots. And the biggest priority for me now is protecting the paint, because we know those guys are going to start working their way on the inside, and as we're seeing right now as they attack the paint. Back to you, Matt.
Mitchell cleaning up down low. Get used to that, folks.
Talk about luxury that Scarborough has. Two big Canadian posts, one 7 feet tall, the other not as tall, but Mitchell is a force.
Mitchell, an early candidate for a couple of awards. We'll have more on that later in the broadcast. Here's Moontu. Good defense there from Johnson, but a better move by Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Moontu just has jumped on the scene, impressed the coaches from day one here, and his role in Brampton has just gotten bigger and bigger.
Plays about 25 minutes a night. Mitchell fading away, can't hit.
Yeah, I like the fact that Eze stayed tall on that in that situation.
And a foul on the perimeter. Tynes caught up with Eze. Ize's been an important piece here. He actually started the last two games for size purposes, and he's earned his minutes.
You know, and the minutes come in small sprints. Like he's a minute, 2 minutes at a time. Give him something positive. I said one of the keys today for Scarborough is that the role players have to be superstars in their roles.
Keon Ambrose Hilton checks in. Justin Hamilton also checking in. His first game since the 16th of the month. That is July. Up top, Chambers off the back rim, and pulling it down there was Mitchell, but we've got a foul on the floor, and it'll be Hamilton who picks up his first personal.
It just shows you the athleticism in the CEBL. Ball goes up. You've got some high flyers inside. They're making plays for the ball way above the rim.
I wouldn't try to out-jump Frank Mitchell either. He's got the ball in his hands right now. Looking for a guard option. Now he's going to set the screen for Turk. Turk trying to measure his options here. Turk pulls up and front rim on the three. And Mitchell picks the pocket of East. Numbers back the other way. Tynes dishes off to Frank, who drops it through.
Yeah, Mitchell shows you he can pass the basketball. There he is, quietly running up the floor behind East for the steal.
So Mitchell, 6'8", out of Toronto, Ontario. He's got some speed, folks. Here's Moontu, sends his man flying, steps to his left. And that one goes out of bounds. It'll be Shooting Stars ball with 2:27 to go. Subs in for both teams here. Peters back in for Brampton. Powell also back in for Scarborough, and seeing his first minutes of the night for the Shooting Stars is Anthony Walker.
Sean East is an MVP candidate, and Scarborough has the luxury of having two Canadian guards in Okoye, Uat early, and now in Tynes that can guard a player of that quality.
Both Canadian Team of the Year candidates as well, and an offensive foul called. And that's on Tynes. He now has, if the stats are correct, 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, that's a tough one. There was on a smoothing screen. But again, here's the situation. Now you can bring Uat in. Now he's going to play more numbers. They're very different. Tynes is a dog on the ball. Uat's very good on the ball, but he uses his length to his advantage.
So a big piece on the shelf as of now for the Shooting Stars. Hamilton, and Mitchell pulls down another board.
I think Hamilton's going to be very important to any type of Brampton run.
Powell goes behind the back. Mitchell stuffed the first layup, and he was fouled on the second.
And the reason I say Hamilton's going to be important to Brampton because he can step out and shoot the three, and he can block shots because of his length.
So Hamilton quickly picks up his second personal foul. That sends Frank Mitchell to the free throw line. Cal Tire is a proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Let's check in with D, who's got more on Frank Mitchell.
Yeah, Matt. So, it's been no secret. Frank Mitchell has become a serious front runner for several awards with his play this season. And I asked him specifically about the Canadian Player of the Year and the Six-Man Award. And I said, if you had a choice, which one would you want more? And he told me that he's striving for both awards, but he really, really wants that sixth man, saying, by adding his name to the list of players who've already won it, he wants to add some more value to it. He pointed out that he's never been a sixth man in his entire career, and he could have been a starter in this league if he really wanted to, but for him, it was to contribute to a common goal with this team and a bigger prize, the one he ultimately wants over the individual ones, and of course, that's the championship. Back to you, Matt.
It's interesting, too, that he has appeared in 23 games now, all off of the bench. This is the first time in his career that he's come off the bench. as a basketball player. He said he had options this year to be a starter, but he said he wants to do whatever he can to give the team the best chance to win, and he believes that's coming off the bench.
Well, and he plays with a lot of joy. And that's not good news for other teams because he's pretty physical with that joy. But he plays hard, and at the end of the game, he's on the floor.
9-point lead now for Scarborough. Here's Moon 2. Peters driving inside. Hamilton shot fake, sends Walker flying, and Hamilton hits.
And that's what I was saying. Hamilton, different. He's a different type of post player for them. He's got that length, but he can also step up and take that shot.
Walker. Here's Mitchell, guarded by Ambrose Hilton. Good defense there by Keon, gets a stop.
Yeah, Ambrose Hilton has had a great game. His production on the floor, running the floor defensively, this is the best game I've seen him play this season.
And that's a guy that doesn't necessarily need to fill the bucket in order to be effective.
And he has a whole lot of potential. So if they get him going, this team's way better than they were early.
Ambrose Hilton trying his hand at a 3. Hamilton, fresh 14 for Brampton. Moon 2, wide open, triple off the mark. Walker able to dish it into the hands of Mitchell.
Funny how all these rebounds end up in Frank Mitchell's hands at the end, right?
No coincidence there. Turnover for the Shooting Stars. Moon 2 has space, and he missed the gimme.
I think that's one of those situations where you're in between. Do I dunk it or do I lay it up?
Walker spins, and Hamilton another rebound, and he's able to draw the foul. What's the saying? A memory of a goldfish? You forget something really quickly. I'm sure Moontu's probably feeling that way right now, hopefully.
Well, the team did a good job of forgetting about it because they got back on defense and they created another situation by going to the free throw line here. Scarborough's winning the game on the court here, right? It's up by 7. But I think Brampton's played pretty well.
So if you've tuned into the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, it's pretty clear that Scarborough is not rolling over and relaxing here with a substantial lead in the East and number 1 seed already locked down. They want to play ball. Here's Powell, steps up in transition, short. Mitchell's got it, up, and 2 free throws coming for Frank.
Frank Mitchell on the offensive boards. He can make a bad shot look good. In that case there, here's an ambitious attempt by Powell, taking that shot with 1 on 4, and Mitchell comes out of nowhere to keep the ball alive, gets himself to the basket, and finishes the play.
So he struggled last game against Montreal. Season low 16 minutes, he had just 3 points. Misses a free throw there. He's got 5 points and 5 boards so far in about 5 minutes of play tonight. You figured he would rebound, and he certainly has early. Mitchell's second up, and no good as well, so he misses a pair.
It's one of the areas of his game. He's down to 60% from the free throw line. He was a little bit better at the beginning of the season. Just fighting through that right now.
Shot clock off, final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Brampton would love a bucket to close things out. Here's Peters. Guarded by Powell. Peters picks up his dribble, glides to the net. Hamilton floating. Powell good if it goes, and no good off the backboard. High tempo first quarter.
Yeah, and Brampton missed two easy bunnies there, so this is a closer game than the 6 points look like.
24-18 after 1. Scarborough on top of Brampton. Second quarter action coming up. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Channel, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Frank Mitchell makes himself part of the game. Here he is on defense in transition, waiting for East to put it down, then uses the hands to get it and then gets rewarded at the other end. That's a steal to a score. It's a nice Frank Mitchell bucket.
One of your keys to the game, Joe, for the Shooting Stars was intensity and urgency. They've certainly done that in transition. Fast break point 7-0 in favor of the team from the ends. Johnson well short on that 3-ball. Second quarter action underway.
Yeah, Scarborough hasn't worked himself, never gotten in a situation where they had to get down late in the clock.
Here's Danilo Juricic. Seeing his first action in a couple of games. Ize thought about passing, and instead, short porch jumper is good.
Good job, Easy.
Lead down to 4. Powell drives, tries to go baseline, and Juricic kicks it out of bounds. Powell with the quick insert to Walker. Miles Powell gets the ball back in his hands. Johnson guarded by Flowers. Two quick players here going head to head. Tough shot there from Johnson, and Ambrose Hilton has another rebound.
And I love that rebound by Ambrose Hilton. He comes from the perimeter on a switch, and he attacks that basket.
Peters, nice crossover, drives. Flowers lost control, but he had it picked from behind.
When Brampton's at their best, the ball moves. You know, you can't, if Brampton gets themselves in trouble, it's when they use the dribble as a pause to their offense.
Peters up top, looking to the bench for the call. Ize, 2 on the shot clock. Peters has to get it off. Ambrose Hilton to beat the buzzer. Not this time. Here's Powell, trying to get by Juricic, and a foul is called. Danilo's got his hands in the air, asking who was the foul on. It couldn't be me.
Yeah, Juricic, all he had to do, he was doing a nice job of funneling him to the basket because Ambrose Hilton was waiting there for the swat and just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
So Powell goes to the line here. Powell has been a star throughout the season for the Scarborough squad. He had a 41-point outing against Winnipeg, which was his season high. He's got 8 target score time winners too, which leads the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And second is Sean East. So we've got 2 of the game's best closers going head-to-head tonight. Powell drops both through as an 82% free throw shooter on the season as the aforementioned East comes into the game.
So now they take out a footer, they bring in a point guard, but because you've got Ambrose Hilton, you can match up a little bit better. And Flowers is always 6'9", and that's not going to change as the game goes on.
Here is Sean East. Picks up his dribble, 10 on the shot clock. Peters. Johnson, good defense. Peters, tough shot.
Yeah, the veteran Peters has been a real nice find for Brampton.
4 points and 4 assists for him so far. And that goes out of bounds. Good defense there from Sean East on Miles Powell.
Sean East, who leads the CBL in steals, showed you that he's a two-way player. Picked them up, kept them on the side, and caused a turnover.
Still a 4-point lead. Peters thinking about the 3, launches in and out. Juricic, offensive board. Ambrose Hilton was calling for the alley-oop. Flowers elects to pass. Ambrose Hilton tied up. And this is going to be on Anthony Walker. It's his second personal foul.
Yeah, Peters doing a real nice job. He just flows right into the offense, makes good decisions. So this is a 4-point game, and Brampton hasn't hit a 3 yet. So they're doing a nice job of grinding.
And if you're just joining us, Cam Tyson not in the lineup tonight. He is one of the top 3-point shooters in the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And just like that, Anthony Walker now picks up his 3rd personal foul.
So Brampton down 4, haven't hit a 3. Sean East hasn't put up a point yet. That's pretty impressive.
And that'll certainly need to change. Tynes and Walker, 3 fouls each now, and another foul.
And this will get Brampton, this will get Scarborough in trouble. These are fouls just being overly physical before the ball's inbounded.
Juricic cuts inside, drops in two. Sneaky stuff from the vet.
Yeah, they run a quick sleeper, take advantage of somebody not paying attention.
Powell wasting no time at the other end. Alex Serta wants a timeout. He's seen enough of Miles.
Man, Miles just got beat on defense. What does he do? He goes right down, 2 dribbles, hits the J.
No concept of time for Miles Powell. A 5-point lead for Scarborough. We're going to take a break. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Stick around. Three ball continuing to work for the Shooting Stars here at the CAA Center. They find themselves up 5 points with 7 and change to go in the first half. Mapinomi, Joe Razzo, D. Balsera, thanks for joining us. And Miles Powell has unlimited range, Joe. That transition bucket, I mean, he doesn't even think twice when he has the ball in his hands.
Listen, I'm colorblind. He's got 14 shades of green when he's got the ball in his hands. Holy smokes. Like, he just comes down, finds his spot, and that is transition.
Powell is the first player in the game up to double digits. He's got 11 points, and you can give him a rebound. Trying to push in transition. Uot hit the side of the backboard there, and Peters is looking to run back the other way. Tossing it up for Flowers, and Flowers smoked on the way up on the dunk attempt, but he pops up quick here with a smile on his face.
The eye contact was made at center court. He wasn't staring at us, Matt. He looked at Flowers, and he said, I'm just going to send it. And poor Khalil Miller had no idea that he was flying around in the same zone.
I'm going to take a look there. Flowers. Head almost hits the backboard.
Oh, what a catch, what a pass. He's used to making those plays. That's what we did with a Nerf ball in our, in a closet maybe. But holy smokes.
So Flowers
hasn't scored yet.
And nothing from Flowers and East. Both the officials telling Flowers to go to the bench, sideline official making him check out of the game.
As soon as I guess the trainer got on the court, they made for substitution. Now the thing is, you can bring anybody you want off the bench to shoot the 2.
Well, how about Muntu, who's 100% on the season? You know what? You could put together a highlight reel. The amount of times I have opened my mouth before free throws. I'm surprised no one said anything on the team, telling me to zip it when they're at the line. See, I don't say anything and he hits it. He's now 9 of 10 on the season. 90% is still pretty good.
Man, you say one thing and the guy drops 10%.
Let's test it out here. Turk Smith's not going to hit a shot. Smith stuck. Up to Powell. 5 seconds. Powell fires, and he draws the foul on Sean East in the dying seconds of the shot clock.
Yeah, East was playing him real tight, and for good reason. And then you see Powell just use his strength to get into East.
So Powell heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, I like the spot that East had him in. He had him in a good situation there. Powell using just that veteran sway that he has to get himself to the free throw line.
And you said it best, too, during the commercial break there, Joe. Miles Powell hits tough shots, and some of them you need to live with. One of those is a very tough shot to guard, but the possibility or the chance that he makes it is pretty darn good. So you almost need to be up in his face.
Scarborough all season has been taking often a lot of questionable shots, ambitious attempts, and dang, they go in. So it's pretty hard to say, oh man, but when their shot isn't going in, and that's rare, then they got to make up for it on the other on running some half-court stuff.
Flowers inside. He was grabbed on the way up. That's Foster, who was all over him. So Foster, his second personal, and now Trenton will get a chance to go to the line. Flowers at the line. D is standing by.
Brent Flowers has obviously been a major bright spot for the Honey Badgers, averaging 25 points in just 7 games, helping this season stay afloat while Sean East has been out. But it was just 2 weeks ago in a game against Niagara, he went down with a scary injury, which initially looked to be, at least to the naked eye, season ending. And coming off a sprained ACL on that same knee, I had to ask him, how fearful he was when he went down and if his season was over. And he told me it was terrifying considering the history on the knee, and when he got up, he couldn't put any pressure on it. So after initial treatment, he became more optimistic, and over time it got better. And he told me there was never any doubt that he would quit on this team after rehab, and that the relationship and the bonds that he's created are too strong for him to give up on these guys. So even if he was hurt, he was going to risk it and help his team get a championship. Back to you, Matt.
Well, they love seeing that right there. Flowers looks healthy. Foster Jr., ball in his hands, just hit Scarborough's 7th 3 of the game. They are 7 of 12. Tough shot there. Easy, Michael.
Foster on one end, Flowers on the other. No wonder both these guys left high school to try to become professional basketball players.
Foster with 5 straight. Here's East, and offensive foul called. Keon Ambrose Hilton with a moving screen.
And sometimes those moving screens aren't just the guy who sets the screen, but it's the ball handler. You've got to let the guy set. So sometimes you can help him out by jabbing away from the screen, let him get set, and then using the screen. When you're both moving at the same time, that's where that foul happens.
Subs in for both teams. So New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL, and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your Frank Mitchell replica jersey now by visiting CEBL.ca. He gets another bucket. You'll certainly want to buy stock in that uni. And inside, Ize grabs 2.
Scarborough just made quick eye contact. You saw Smith and Mitchell make quick eye contact on what we call a pistol, just to pass and get it back.
Johnson fakes the dish, now goes to Frank. And he gets a hand up on Judicic, who does a backward somersault. And will head down the floor now to shoot free throws.
Mitchell gets a hand up. Brampton player falls to the ground. In this case, Danil Durcic now gets himself to the free throw line. This is where those fouls early, where they were grabbing the 2 fouls on the out of bounds plays. This is where it catches up to you near the end of the, or in this case, the midway of the second quarter.
Judicic, first free throw is up and good. Of course, a former shooting star himself, won a championship with the team.
Yeah, there's lots of guys on the floor talking, but if I'm going to have a debating team, I'm taking the Harvard grad with me, Durcic.
You want to talk business with this guy. He's an econ major who is one of the smartest guys in the arena. Just signed himself a new shoe deal with Skechers, 2-year deal. So congratulations to Danilo. Great ambassador here in the Brampton community. Here's Johnson, baseline, off the back rim. Campbell's got it. He goes up, and Frank Mitchell, get out the way!
Put a body on that man.
Oh, bully ball from Frank. Now he's going to D it up down low. Flowers challenges inside, elevates, and Ize trying to sneak by Mitchell. Instead, Frank picks up his second personal foul.
And Eze made that look easy, right? He used his 7-foot frame, got himself, did the early work, put Mitchell underneath the rim, and got the long rebound. Tegra Eze with his best half of the season.
He's got 8 points and 3 rebounds in 5 minutes right now. So that is a season high for him. He had 3 total points in his last 5 games. So he's feeling it tonight.
And with the Eze plan, it allows them to do a little bit more different substitutions. Because now instead of having to bring in Hamilton at the post position, you can bring in another import at the wing. In this case, they bring in Minor.
And I think some people forget, Ize's only 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's full of athletic ability, and no free throw makes this trip. Upset with himself, letting out a roar there. 9-point lead for the Shooting Stars. Campbell inside. He was hammered on the way up, and Eze comes away with it. East up to Moontu. Moontu inside, elevates. Ball is loose. Turk Smith back in the game. He pushes. Foster Jr. tried the big slam, and instead he misses an easy bucket.
Both teams miss easy scores on both ends of the floor, but they're worried about the defenders coming.
Flowers elevates and goes down hard. He's laying on the floor right now. Might have had the wind knocked out of him there. Boy, he has had a couple of hard falls here, but he's bounced back up.
So Michael Foster Jr. and Trenton Flowers both became pros right out of high school. So they had big ideas of both becoming NBA players, and the journey's going to get them there. You know, you look at somebody like Foster here. He's on every NBA GM's radar. They all know who he is. They all know who Trenton Flowers are. These are young guys still. Their journey is different than most because they decided not to go to college.
So we've just changed basketballs here as Flowers heads to the line. Looks like Flowers might have cut his thumb earlier. It looked like it was a thumb injury, but it looks like it's cut. So Flowers comes out of the game again. There was blood on the basketball, presumably from Trenton Flowers. We get a look at it here on the sideline. So Flowers out of the game for the second time, unable to shoot free throws here. It's Peters Jr. in the game now.
If you're a coach, you're saying, why can't that happen to the 40% free throw shooter? Dang.
Alex Serta popped up. He wanted the medical staff to figure this out pretty darn quick. Flowers himself is a heck of a shooter from the line, 91%, but Peters says, don't worry, I'll hit both.
Yeah, you didn't say anything this time.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was not saying, I should say. Here's Turk. Short on the floater. Frank's got the rebound and turns, fires, and hits.
Yeah, what a great assist by Frank Mitchell. The assist started with the offensive rebound. He then kicks it out. Jaden Campbell is a three-point assassin. Do not let this guy get off. Forget about what the stats say. His whole career, he's a three-point shooter, and there he got himself an easy one. Watch Mitchell. Sets the screen, rolls to the basket. He's hoping there's a miss because he knows he's going to get it, and then he kicks it out, and he gives him the room service assist, and walking down the court, he knows it's going in.
So a timeout on the floor. We talked to the coaching staff and some of the players before the game, and you know, Joe, watching this Shooting Stars team throughout the season has been an absolute treat, led by that guy right there, Tyrell Vernon. And I was trying to think the other day what they remind me of, and the first thing that came to mind was the Bad Boy Pistons. They're competitive, they're ferocious, they have a chip on their shoulder all the time, and most of all, they're talented. So Isaiah Thomas, Bill Lambier, Joe Dumars. How about Miles Powell, Frank Mitchell, Turk Smith? And I asked Tyrell Vernon about the comparison to the Bad Boy Pistons, and he smirked and he said, I'll take it. Well, I asked Frank Mitchell about the comparison, and he said, yeah, that's the stuff we like, to put it politely.
Yeah, you know what? And Tyrell Vernon is someone who I've known a lot of his career. I recruited him out of high school, so he played for me for a couple years. But he's done a great job of managing this team, not just coaching it. He's doing a super job of coaching it, but he's managing it. Okay, so front office, GMs, you tell me who I'm playing, you tell me who I got tonight. Okay, I'm all in. Here's the plan. and he's done a super job of piecing it together and keeping them competitive.
You know, this team hears a lot on the road. They have an aura about them that is infectious, but in order to not like a team, they must be pretty darn good. Here's Eze down low. He's trying to find another bucket, and Uat got a hand on it. It goes off of Minor and out of bounds.
It was a heck of a catch by Eze. The ball was on one side of the rim. He was on the other.
He's one of the hardest working guys. He's always out early, getting his reps in with Dr. J. Smith hesitates. Off the window. Perfect timing from Turk.
Yeah, Brampton needs a little bit of Sean East.
Here's Muntu stepping back. Rush shot there. Minor able to scoop up the ball. Here is Sean. Still pointless. East goes into the corner. Nice ball movement here, and Eze punches it through.
This is when Brampton's at its best. No pauses, move the basketball, let East orchestrate the offense, but keep the ball moving.
East another rebound. He's got 3 now. Minor in transition. Trying to wait for a chance and fouled on the way up.
Yeah, good drawing the foul. He drew 3-4 people there. It's one of those situations, if you're not going to get fouled, then the better decision is to kick it out. But Minor worked his way to the free throw line.
So the foul looked like they're trying to figure out who the foul was on. It will be on Ekoy Uat. Frank Mitchell thought it was on him. It was initially announced on him. That would have been his third. Instead, it's Uat's first.
Yeah, but you don't want a foul. You don't want Uat and Tynes both to have foul trouble because they're both so important.
Minor hits the first. You know, we just said pointless Sean East. Scarborough's done a good job of containing him on offense, and that is a very tough thing to do.
And I think it's a combination of Uat and Tynes. They came out there and they've taken that challenge personally. And every time he gets the ball, they jam him up and they're saying, okay, somebody else score.
Mitchell coming to set the screen for Smith. Smith with a shot that's well off the mark. A rare air ball from Turk.
Yeah, and if you're Brampton, you're fighting over top that screen. That could be dangerous because he'll stop and pop from anywhere.
2:30 to go in the half. 8-point lead for the Shooting Stars. Here's East stepping back. First bucket, no good. Flowers offensive board. He's got East open. Instead, Flowers takes it himself.
The rebounding has kept Brampton in the game.
Flowers just 5 points and a foul back the other way as Smith will go to the free throw line. And that will be on Minor. That's his first personal as Khalil Miller will come into the game for the Shooting Stars. Peters back in for the Honey Badgers.
Brampton's biggest scoring run has been 5 points, and it's because, and it's one of the reasons has been not just because their offense hasn't been good, their offense has been fine. It's just that Scarborough puts so much pressure on you on the defensive end to get stops.
Smith hits the first. Smith has done something only a handful of guys have done this year in the Canadian Elite Basketball League, and that's record a triple-double. 19 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds against the River Lions a couple of games back. So one of the all-around players also with NBA experience. 8-point lead. Here's Peters. Flowers. Might settle for the step back. Instead, that was tipped on the way up. Miller got a hand on it. Former OUA Defensive Player of the Year. Flowers fires a tough-looking three. Didn't go off rim, so the shot clock did not reset in a tough possession there for Brampton.
Yeah, I'd say it's a tough possession. I think any possession where Sean East doesn't touch the ball isn't a good possession right now with under 2 minutes in the game. So they did a good job. They got the rebounds. But using Sean East as a decoy, screen for him, use him, get him involved, use him as a screener, whatever you want to do, but you need to get him a touch on the offensive end.
Powell missing the three. Ball is loose down low. Miller goes up, no call. East trying to play defense, and Miller steps out of bounds.
This is where Brampton they just relentless on the boards. It was Uat against 3 other guys out down there, and Uat was able to keep that ball alive.
Roddy Peters Jr., 6 points, 6 assists. One of the offensive drivers so far. Almost had his pocket pick. Powell was lurking. Now he resets. Trenton Flowers, 5 points, 5 rebounds. Looking to add to it. And that one kicked by Koy Uat. So shot clock back up to 14 seconds here.
I'd love to see Brampton just use East as a screener or set a couple back screens for him.
Flowers' hand in his face, no good. Ambrose Hilton offensive rebound. Muntu goes baseline, back up top to East. Almost seems like he just needs to crack the seal here. East, jumper, in and out. Can't buy a roll right now. Smith, corner, wide open. Yes! A Koy Uat corner triple.
And Scarborough's not hunt. They're just making good plays, spreading the floor, knocking down the open threes.
Flowers hesitates. Good defense there from Uat. Up and under. Miller all over the Flowers shot. Flowers grabbing his hand again. Smith back the other way. No good. And Uat slams it and boots it into the 5th row.
So how do you go from St. College in Alberta to the NBA Summer League? You get better, you show your athleticism, and you play athletically where you can. Uat makes a play on defense, comes down, and takes care of business at the other end.
Just a small glimpse of what this Scarborough team is capable of. So a technical foul was given.
Shawnees gets himself on the score sheet.
So a Koy Uat was given a technical after that dunk. And like you said, Joe, Sean East on the board now with a single point. So Brampton gets the ball back. And Koy Uat was holding on the rim too long. That's what we're being told. Muntu, right to Keon Ambrose Hilton, who holds on to the rim the perfect amount of time.
And Khalil Miller was caught in jail there. Do I stay home and get scored on, or do I rotate and give up the lob?
10-point lead, shot clock off. 4 seconds to go in the half. Smith, his man goes flying. Turk, 3 ball is short. He's upset with himself, but Brampton gets a much-needed defensive stop.
They certainly did, and this Scarborough team has everybody stepping on the floor, is knocking it down today.
53-43 halfway through here. A little bit of everything. One of the guys that has been important in this offensive play throughout the season for Scarborough is Turk Smith. He's got 12 points halfway through, and he's standing by with D.
Prokavion, 12 first half points for you. There's been a lot of chatter in this game. It has a playoff atmosphere. Talk about the motivation you've come in and the intensity you showed in that first half.
I would just say it comes with my teammates. We got a good group. We're very well connected on and off the court, so they keep me motivated, my coaches. Everybody believing in me on my side, so I can work.
Brampton's made a couple runs in the first half to keep the game close. I'm certainly doing the second half. What do you have to continue to do?
I think our biggest thing is defense. Taking pride on defense. They're under 50 right now at half, so it's good. I think we played a solid defense. If we keep playing defense, then it'll work out.
Best of luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
The Shooting Stars put up 29 points in the second quarter. They lead by double digits halfway through, 53-43. Shooting Stars on top of the Honey Badgers. We're going to take a break, but we're going to break down the entire first half in just a moment. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus.
Karnick, that gives some space for Burns, who doesn't get the roll, fighting for the rebound. Karnick is the one coming in with it. Might not look it on TV, but he is massive. And here's a flush from Michael Mulder. My goodness.
Another Montreal legend. He puts up a ton of shots this summer in his free time.
At the deck is Bunch with the double stub finish. And at the end of 3 is Montreal 25. Third, strike a Bose. Montreal looking for win number 9.
Smart inside. kicks it, and Jack Hadjure had made one from there. Loose ball, and loose again. 9 to shoot. Fudge all the way, and he slides in for the one-handed stop.
Un-Powell-like, and another throwaway. Terquavian handles it though, trying to settle things down. Watched by Vinales, and Terquavian Smith, and Kyle Vinales just laughs. Look at Turk from a long way out, from the star.
He's at the logo. You're thinking, come on, no way, I dare you. Bingo.
This is a gritty game. The points are harder to come by as it goes on. Really getting that playoff feel. You can tell these teams are feeling it. Karnik, it goes in hard with the slam.
Good body language. Let the ref know that you somewhat question it, but
Here's Williams. Strike the pose on that dunk. Ottawa. And here's a Lou Williams third dunk on that mistake by Cleveland.
all right, of course the toughness. It's always ideal when your point guard actually.
Lindsay on the baseline. Lindsay tried to get inside. The Surge had numbers and made him count. Patterson with a path to the glass. Oh, Swan Roger! How about that? Let me give you something here. On the move from Addy Patterson.
Scary moments. Karnik rolling. James Karnik shuts it down. LEC, turn out the lights.
So this game is definitely not over.
Elvis.
Austin inbound, and Moore throws it down.
Pressure on. Turk, Smith, and it's over! Hercules does it! On the most improbable finish you will see. Why take the three? Either team at moments, but the Alliance, gritty, came back. And then Turk said, you know what? I've had quite enough of all of this.
Enough. He said enough.
Enough.
Foolishness. I'm going to hit that step back. You don't need the three, but I'm going to take it anyways because that's what I do, said Terquavian.
Terquavian Smith.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the
Cool.
Back inside the CAA Center in Brampton, Ontario. Mapinomi alongside the coach, Joe Razzo. Third member of our team is D. Balsera. The Shooting Stars with a 10-point lead over the Honey Badgers halfway through here, 53-43. And Miles Powell, Terquavian Smith, 14, 12 points respectively. 26 points between the two of them. Transition has been working for the Shooting Stars, Joe, thanks to those two guys.
And the three-point line. Like, you know, like that backcourt is 5 of 10 from the three. They have just been putting pressure on Brampton. You've got to stop their straight line attacks. And with these guys, it's not traditional. They just get it, stop, pull up, and shoot it. And as a coach, you're sitting there saying, no, 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 yes.
I believe the phrase you used was ambitious attempts. They are 9 of 18 from deep, 9 3-pointers in that opening half, and that's where Brampton their offense has come from.
Yeah, but they do run with 5. They space the floor. They push the ball. Like the last 3 they got was Uot, knocking down the 3. So here they go. They run as a group here, and they're just solid at it. They do a super job of spacing the floor, and if they'll take the first 3, they don't have to run it in deep in the clock. They will shoot early in the clock.
As for the Brampton Honey Badgers, Sean East held to just a single point. Trenton Flowers also struggling on the offensive end, just 5 points in the first half. Well, these two have to get going if the Honey Badgers want any hope here.
Yeah, the one thing the Honey Badgers were doing, they were doing a great job of attacking the basket. And they were doing a great job of rebounding. What they haven't done, they haven't moved the ball around enough to get their shooters the shots. They haven't hit any threes yet, but I think they haven't had any open threes. You got to find a way that Sean East isn't just the giver, but he has to be a little bit of a receiver in this half.
Yeah, you'd probably say to yourself, too, if your 2 backcourt stars in Trenton Flowers and Sean East combined for 6 points in the first half and you're only down 10 to the best team in the league, you'd probably take that if you're Alex Serta.
Yeah, you build something out of this here. And remember, this is the same Sean East that had 6 points last week against Winnipeg in the first half and then came back with 32 in the second.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats here again. As we mentioned, Brampton without a 3-point make in the first half. They are 0 of 12, but they've been getting to the free throw line quite a bit.
If Brampton can make it a half-court game and take away the threes, then they got a chance at it. But this rebounds, nobody out-rebounds Scarborough all season, and Brampton's doing a real nice job. They're keeping it close because they're rebounding.
The top 2 teams in the East duking it out here at the CAA Center. A 10-point lead for the Shooting Stars over the Honey Badgers through 2 quarters of play. We're going to have quarters 3, 4, and target score time on the other side. Stick around. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back to the CEA Center. I'm joined by Scarborough Shooting Stars head coach Tyrell Vernon. Coach, a lot to like about that first half. What impressed you the most?
I think for us is how we shared the ball. You know, I think the open man got it. And defensively, I thought for the, a quarter and a half, I thought we did a good job one shot and out, forcing other guys to beat us. And then I just think at the end of that second quarter, we didn't do a good job with our one-on-one defense, and we didn't rebound well in that second quarter.
Now, we've seen this script before with Sean East against Winnipeg. He was held to 6 points and went off in the second half. How do you continue to contain him and make sure he doesn't go off in the second half?
Sean East is a phenomenal basketball player. And, we have a matchup for him right now where hopefully just the energy in the fly around can kind of slow him down a little bit. But we know he's going to try to make a punch here and try to win this game. So we just got to be ready for everything.
Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you two.
Good stuff. Thank you, D, and thank you, head coach Tyrell Vernon. We'll take a look back at Joe's players to watch. Pre-game, Joe, you selected Javen Johnson and Trenton Flowers, both who are still trying to find their offensive stroke.
Yeah, both guys, they haven't played where they have, like they have all season. Both these guys have been phenomenal scoring the ball and shooting the ball. So look for both of them. But in Johnson's case, his backcourt mates are shooting it so well that, he's going to say, okay, that's fine. I'm going to feed the fire.
You could pick about 7 players to watch on this Shooting Stars team. As we flip now to our red tag path to the playoffs stat graphic here. Here's how the standings shape up right now. We've had a number of things decided so far. The East, though, there are still a couple of things up in the air here. So Scarborough and Brampton will both host first-round playoff games on August 6th. Now, Niagara and Montreal have finished their seasons, and now Ottawa can determine their fate with 1 game left in Edmonton. And Ottawa can still tie them and then would move into third and book a date with Brampton because of the tiebreaker over Niagara and Montreal. Then it would be the Shooting Stars and the River Lions.
Yeah, so big game Sunday in Edmonton where Ottawa plays Edmonton, and Ottawa can play their way in and play their way into third place.
Now, how about that western side? Saskatoon and Edmonton are in the 3 and 4 spots, and they'll play the road game. So that's been determined already. But Vancouver and Winnipeg tied with 14 and 9 records. They play to end their season in Langley on Sunday, 3:30 Eastern. This is the beauty of the 24-game expanded season. We get this finish right down to the wire now. More runway, more space for the takeoff or landing or whatever you want to call it, but just more entertainment here in the 8th season of the CEBL.
And, winner takes all in the West. This is so important because this means that you get to host the conference championship. So it came down to, no points against, no points or for. It's all about winners. Winners go. And this is going to be a great game in Vancouver tomorrow.
And for those wondering, if you follow Mitch Creek on social media, the reigning MVP, he is back in Canada right now. So you could assume he might be in the lineup tomorrow night. Of course, he has played 4 games this season. You need to play 5 and appear in 3, or be on the active roster for 5 and appear in 3 in order to be playoff eligible. So the math is simple. Mitch Creek needs to play tomorrow in order to be eligible for playoffs, and all signs would point that the big Aussie will be in the lineup for the Bandits, which is a pain for the rest of the league, but boy, he is fun to watch.
So we got Mitch Creek, Teddy, Xavier Moon. How many MVP awards between the 3 of them?
What's that, 6 right there?
I think it's 7.
7? Either way, you've got stars, man. That is a game to tune into. Lots on the line. But in the meantime, you're tuned into this game right here. Shooting Stars and Honey Badgers. Sean East with the ball. Peters, Ambrose Hilton, Moontu, and Flowers out there with them. And Peters opens the second half with a bucket.
Again, attacking the basket, but a confident attack. Why? Because Charles Bediako looks like he's in civvies.
Yeah, Bediako came out of the change room there at halftime in street clothes, so we could probably guess that his night is over. Powell backdoor feed. Smith was open for half a second, and Peters got a hand on that pass.
What a great play by Ambrose Hilton there. They had 2 points in the bank, and Hilton just got a fingertip on that pass.
There's Powell, and he steps out of bounds. He's asking the official. Maybe that should have been a foul on Sean East, getting bumped there instead. It's a defensive stop, so offensive possession and a defensive stop here. Paired together, East, triple, yes! Oh, Sean breaking the seal.
Yes, and Akoy Uat made the mistake of waiting for Sean East. early in that first half, all they did constantly worked Sean East up the court with the ball.
Powell, 3-ball, up, money.
Yeah, you cannot go underneath the screen with Powell or with Turk.
That shot no good. East able to pull down his 5th rebound. That goes out of bounds, and it'll stay down in front of the Shooting Stars bench there. Powell went into the bench. Frank Mitchell helping him up there.
Sean East only had 3 shot attempts the entire first half.
So again, we take care of things. East and Mitchell sharing a laugh there in front of the bench. You know, these guys are competitive, but after all said and done, they're buddies too. Here's Moon 2. Moon 2. And right there, Ambrose Hilton again on cleanup duty.
Yeah, great offensive rebound. Again, Charles Bediako is on the bench.
Powell's deep, no good. Moon 2's got it. Rush shot there from Miles. Moon 2. Driving, looking for the call, won't get it. Trying to grab the offensive board. Ambrose Hilton has it now. And 3 in the key called.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a rare call considering Ambrose Hilton was trying to dribble out of the key.
Yeah, you know what? But the thing was, there wasn't possession for a little bit of while. Look at that Ambrose Hilton dunk. He might have been counting by 2s.
Ambrose Hilton's up to 6 points. Johnson, 2 more. He's up to 5. So he's been quiet, averages 17 a game. But like you said, Joe, when the supporting cast is doing a lot of the work, you can take a breather every now and then. Here's East. Trying to get around Khalil Miller. Peters up top, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Peters driving on Smith. Good defense there from Smith, a jump ball.
Yeah, the offensive shooter, Smith, did a nice job defensively, constantly moving his feet backwards. And then what did he do? He reached in with 2 hands. He didn't swipe at the ball. He showed control. Terquavion Smith with the big defensive move.
Smith, Powell, Johnson, Uot, and Miller out there for the Shooting Stars. Miller, of course, replacing Bediako, as we mentioned a moment ago. Johnson, same spot, and it's Cash again.
Same play. The backcourt now is feeding Johnson in the half court.
East trying to shake Uot. Not this time. Instead, he passes. Here's Flowers. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Trenton driving, dishing. Ambrose Hilton. And he clogged it between the rim and backboard, so this will be a jump ball.
No, foul.
Oh, no, they called a foul.
Yeah, foul on Miller.
Oh, wow, so a foul on Miller, his second. In the meantime, Judicic will check back in, Moon 2 to the bench.
So the depth of the Scarborough team. Bediako looks like he's out for the day. So you've got your 6-man potential player of the year, and Mitchell coming off the bench as a big. And then you got Khalil Miller. And so Miller's asked a lot to do here. And then Ambrose Hilton continuing with the great play he had in the first half.
Ambrose Hilton. It's the first free throw. Going to try something here. He's a 61% free throw shooter on the season. Shooting Stars in transition. Johnson weaves his way back up top. Powell guarded by Judicic. Powell wants to suck the big man back out to half. Powell driving right by for 2. Easy money.
Yeah, he toyed with Danilo. He said, I want to take the shot. Danilo got in tight, and then he got in too tight.
Here is Judicic. Flowers. Powell, Flowers, count it.
And those are the buckets that you remember. A little fortunate to get the finish on the roll, but that's what Flowers does. He's good at taking the ball to a point. He didn't waste the dribbles there. Early in the first half, I thought a couple times he got the ball and he was just pounding it. There he dribbled with a purpose.
So Flowers converts the three-point play. Turk Smith. He's got 12 points, launches the three, and he's fouled on it. Flowers picking up a foul, his first personal. He's upset with himself here as Turk will head to the line. Subs in for both teams here. Eze in for Brampton, and Mitchell and Foster in for Scarborough. So Smith at the line. Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win with new prizes of $100,000 every draw. Get your Lotto Max ticket tonight. Must be 18 plus. So transition has worked so well for this Scarborough team, still leading 12-3 in fast break points. Joe, how hard is it to stop this Shooting Stars transition when everything's clicking for them?
Well, the first thing you do when you talk about getting back in defensive transition is you got to get back, but you got to control the ball. And the only problem that Brampton is making right now, they're allowing the guards, be it Smith or Powell, to dribble where they want to go in the transition. You got to stop them and change their angle.
Sean East lights it up from deep. Much needed bucket there for the Honey Badgers. Smith over to Mitchell. Floater from the free throw line. Eze pulls down his sixth rebound. Here's East. Chased from behind by Uat. East, nice pass. Peters tossing it up. Eze couldn't tip it in. It's loose. Flowers has it. Peters open in the corner. Flowers, the 5-footer.
Yeah, get him in the paint. Faces square up. Offensive rebound. Easy didn't score, but he kept that ball alive.
Little turn in momentum here. Powell sends East flying. Can't get the roll. Mitchell and Flowers going head-to-head for the board. Trenton Flowers. Trenton Flowers drives, and he was smoked from behind there.
Yeah, Acott was tight on him, but Flowers used his length there. Nice finish left-handed.
So Uat, third personal foul. Johnson will check back in for the Shooting Stars. Also, Tynes coming back in. He's got 3 personal fouls. So there's that tandem again, Joe. You're talking about Uat and Tynes playing a little hot potato on and off the bench.
And their job is to stop Sean East. Now, the hardest place to stop Sean East is on misses, because you're trying to get back and build your defense. It's hard to get them sometimes. On May baskets, it's a little bit easier. So they've got to find Sean East early, and Tynes has to control him.
Flowers hits both free throws. Let's say hello to D.
It's funny that you guys keep mentioning Tynes and Uat. I was talking to Coach Vernon before the game, and I said, listen, if there is one guy that you could campaign for awards, again, we're talking about awards because we're at that time of the year, I said, who would you campaign for? And he said, well, Frank speaks for himself, but I would go to bat for Kellen Tynes and Uat because, they should both get recognition for Canadian awards, but I definitely think Tynes deserves serious consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. And, of course, I had to ask him about his own chances of winning Coach of the Year, and he downplayed it and he didn't want to talk about it, and that's just because he's a humble guy. Back to you, Matt.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dave. Foster and Peters exchanging threes. Yeah, you've got that right, D. Tyrell Vernon certainly has carved himself into a good position for Coach of the Year, and Smith hit on the way up, so he'll head to the line.
You look up, it's a 3-point game right now.
And they continue to chip away here. Brampton with 21 points in this third quarter, outscoring the Shooting Stars by 7 early. We're going to take a break. 3-point lead for Scarborough. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back inside the CAA Center, Mapinomi, Joe Rasso, D-Ball Sarah. The Shooting Stars with a 3-point lead over the Honey Badgers here on Saturday night CEBL action. So Trenton Flowers finding his stroke in the second half here. He has 7 points for a total of 12 in this third quarter. And East with 6 points of his own in this third quarter. Now 7 in the game, but the rebound standing out, Joe. Brampton 36, Scarborough 27.
Yeah, Brampton doing a great job of giving Scarborough a one and done only, and then doing a good job on the other end of getting themselves a couple second chance opportunities with offensive boards.
Turk Smith now up to 15 points. Second free throw is good. So 16 points for Turk, only trailing Miles Powell, who's got a game-high 19. And that one goes out of bounds. Careless turnover there by the Honey Badgers.
And that was a set play trying to get Sean East the ball. You got to make it's just a read and react play on that.
The 8th turnover for Brampton. Scarborough with just 5 turnovers, so both teams have done a somewhat good job of taking care of the basketball. Here's Smith. Foster, he's got 8 points. Mitchell fires at baseline. Johnson fading in and out.
And that's what Frank Mitchell can do. What a nice pass. Cross court, right-handed. Big guy's got good hands and throws the ball well.
East guarded by Tynes. Keep an eye on that matchup, and Peters got lucky there. There was a foul called by one official, a kickball called by the other, and instead this will be on Kellen Tynes. He cannot believe it in the corner right now. You see that facial expression right there. What? But that's his 4th foul.
That looked like it was going to be Brampton's 2nd turnover in a row.
Yeah, they're taking him out now, so right on time, a Koy Uat coming into the game. So that another big foul for the Shooting Stars. Tynes to the pine. Here's East. Driving, corner, Judicic needs it, gets it.
Yeah, Danilo needed it, Brampton needed it. Good pass, great find, good shot.
7 points for Danilo along with 4 rebounds. He's coming to life here. Now just a 2-point lead. Johnson responds with a twine-ripping triple.
3rd time they've run that play. Little rip screen, bring him to the strong side. He catches and shoots it.
3rd Shooting Star into double-digit points-wise, 10 for him. Peters tucks it, drives, too strong. Justin Hamilton in a battle with Frank Mitchell, and Mitchell comes away with his 12th rebound. Averages a league best 11 a game. He's hit that quote already, and Smith back to the line here. Boy, he is a master at drawing fouls.
Does a super job, but that started with his defense at the other end. He did a nice job. That's 2 big plays he made. Comes down, probes the middle, and attacks the rear contest.
Subs in for the Shooting Stars. Sean East telling the official, I didn't do anything on that play. As Smith at the line. Smith spent his CEBL offseason in China, was a scoring champ. Hits the first free throw. It's interesting to think about this Shooting Stars team. For the longest time, Kat Barber was the king in town that ran the show, and they've done such a good job, Brady Heslop, in building this squad, filling holes and making sure that the right personnel are in the right spots at all time. It's been seamless transition from their franchise player to the new faces in town.
I think where they've done the best job is finding the new, young, hot Canadian talent in Uat and Tynes. Like, that's an incredible find this year of making your whole team and your whole organization better.
So a foul at the other end of the floor. This was on Michael Foster Jr. That's his 4th personal foul. So Frank Mitchell stands up on the bench and comes into the ball game. And get your exclusive Honey Badgers merch now, including We Are Brampton snackback hats and Flower City replica jerseys to support the team all year round. Visit honeybadgers.ca/shop. Flowers' first free throw is in.
So to go back to that point a little bit, Matt, I talked about, Uwat and Tynes bringing them in. Then you bring in a rookie, Frank Mitchell. Bediako's first experience now in the CBL. All four of those guys are incredible players to bring in to your organization, and I think they've really set the foundation of it.
Not only are you watching the two best teams in the Eastern Conference, but you're watching two of the best cultures. Uwat fires and points to the Brampton bench after knocking three.
Coy Uwat with his second three of the game.
He's up to 10 points now, joining the double-digit point squad. Lead back up to 8. Hamilton settles for the floater, gets the roll.
Nice play by Hamilton. He gives them a little bit of offense. He's a very good option for them.
Powell, just enough space, always making it work. Unbelievable from Miles Powell.
That's just a great screen, great finish, and great shot.
Powell's got 22 points now. East draws a foul on Uwat. That's his fourth personal. So some foul trouble for multiple players now on the Shooting Stars.
Yeah, but if you're a Coy Uwat, you got to keep your emotions in check, and you got to think, I'm playing with 3 fouls. So maybe 25 feet away from the basket, I can give a little bit more space and not get caught in that, because someone like Sean East is going to put you in the trick bag.
Johnson in, Uwat out. East to the free throw line. So East on a bit of a roll lately, back-to-back games with the target score time winner.
Yeah, but that half he had last week in Winnipeg, it was like, boys, just jump on my back and I'm going to carry you down the road. And they're 32 points in the second half. Wow.
24 points, 38 points, and 26-point outings since returning from Summer League with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So best way to put it is no rust on Sean East's game. Mitchell, little space, goes up, challenges. Good defense there from Judicic. Numbers for Brampton if they go. East, transition, triple, yes!
Nobody stopped East. He did exactly what Scarborough did in the first half. Dribble to the spot.
Powell, rush shot there. Mitchell's got a board. Powell, this time swings it. Triple, opposite side of the floor is Cash, courtesy of Campbell.
An ambitious attempt, a bad shot. Mitchell keeps it alive. They find the ball, finds Campbell.
30 seconds to go in the quarter. 15-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Flowers elevates, grabs his offensive board, and punches in 2.
He's a quick jumper. Like, he's got all that 6'8", 6'9" frame, but he gets off the floor quickly.
Shot clock off, 10 seconds to go in the quarter. 5-point lead for Scarborough. Powell chased back to the center line. East from behind. Hamilton. Powell can't hit. Hamilton's got it. East fires. And it goes wide of the backboard, but a much better quarter there from Brampton.
Yeah, lots of fighting Brampton, and a little bit more efficient on offense and doing a better job on the defensive end. We got ourselves a game here, Matt.
35 points in the frame for Brampton. They trail by just 5. Fourth quarter and target score time coming your way. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter action set to begin here at the CAA Center. Mapinomi, Joe Razzo, D. Balsera, thanks for joining us. The Shooting Stars +5 on the Brampton Honey Badgers in an Eastern Conference showdown. And Joe, the Canadians have done some damage for this Brampton squad tonight.
Yeah, not just the Canadians, but some of the guys who've had roles on this team. You know, between Montu and Duricic and Ize, guys who've been coming off the bench all year for them. Already got 25 points between the three of them. That's a great output for them, and that really should help Brampton.
Johnny set to inbound the ball. Here's Hamilton. He's got 5 points and 6 boards. Now comes out to set the screen, but decoys, goes and sets for Flowers. Flowers fading, and Mitchell pulls down his 14th rebound.
Yeah, nice set play there.
Mitchell inside, spinning, had the shot. Now he does spin, and he drops it through. Frank Mitchell, give him another double-double.
And what great hands. Lots of traffic in there. Frank Mitchell keeps his eyes on the ball. And
oh, Trenton Flowers keeps his eye on the rim. Johnson, quick fire, and he responds with a triple. So just when things get good for Brampton, Scarborough says not so fast.
You celebrate too long, what happens? You give up transition, easy pass down the lane. Can't happen if you're Brampton. Enjoy the successes, but you always have to be great at your defensive transition.
And I hate to use that C word again, Joe, but that is transition play for Scarborough that has been killing this Brampton team.
You know, for anybody, the pass is quicker than the dribble. And when Brampton and Scarborough's done both, they've dribbled the ball down the floor. But here, Javon Johnson runs the length of the floor. They get him open, and he just knocks down a three. He's having a good half, too.
What about that dunk right there from Trenton Flowers, who has come to life as we see the Johnson three-pointer, but the athletic ability of Flowers. You know, the only thing that you can kind of get upset with his play is we didn't get to see him for a full season.
Yeah, and it looks like his game really sets itself up for a FIBA game because he's got that ISO in him, yes, but he's got the ability to knock down the short jumper. We haven't seen him knock down the three, but he has early in the season.
Let's check in with D, who's standing by.
Yeah, Matt, as you can imagine, Coach Serta visibly upset with his guys, saying, hey, you're beating ourselves at this point. Why aren't we running the shooters? Get a hand up in their face. We need to start allowing them to beat us at the three-point line. Offensively, we need to keep driving the ball, stop being afraid, attack the rim, and things will happen. Back to you.
Good stuff. Thank you, D. Alex Serta said the other day that he wants the best Shooting Stars team on the board when they play tonight. Juricic, 3 ball short, and Muntu chases it down. Here's East. He knocks down the triple. Perfect timing there for Brampton.
So Mitchell kept it alive at one end earlier, and they got a three. There, Muntu does a nice job of keeping the ball alive and getting the offensive rebound.
Tynes on the floor, playing with 4 fouls. Johnson can't hit, and elevating there. Big board by Hamilton. Peters and Ize will check in for Brampton on the next whistle, and they turn the ball over. Powell got fingertips on it.
Yeah, East kind of faked where he was throwing it, and that's not a good recipe.
Powell, water bug, dribbling on the baseline. Goes to Tynes, wide open, down low with authority, Anthony Walker.
Too much staring for Brampton, not enough communication talking. So all of a sudden, easy baskets. Brampton needs to get a defensive run here.
3 ball off the mark. Lead 7 now. Here's Powell. Trying to shake Hamilton, steps into it and count the bucket. Miles Powell unconscious.
He certainly was. He went up against length, the herky-jerky. What a shot.
Boy, this guy does not have an off switch.
So he's got length on him. He steps back a little bit, just enough to have the length step towards him, and then he steps into it. Like the accolades this guy's had from his days at Seton Hall all the way through is absolutely unbelievable. Big East Player of the Year. This is why.
So Powell, 25 points. Give him 26 now. Averages 23 a game. And tonight he has exceeded that average and put on an absolute show. Here's Flowers looking for an option. Peters, perimeter. Walker's got it. Tynes held back in transition. Mitchell, oh, what a pass there from Powell. He was celebrating. And Mitchell missed the layup. Ambrose Hilton has it go off his hands. Powell will try again here. Powell, logo. No roll. But Frank says, I got you, Miles. Pushing it through the one-handed slam. Scarborough, a bunch of absolute animals right now.
Running downhill with the ball. Mitchell explodes down the floor early, doesn't get it. Comes back on defense. Then the shot goes up, and everybody's watching the shot, but not Mitchell. He's hoping for a miss because he knows he's going to eat some rim.
Everybody eating here for the Shooting Stars. Frank the Tank, the latest, with a big slam. My goodness, folks, this is exactly what you can get used to. Miles Powell, Frank Mitchell, playoff basketball, they come to life when it matters most, and this is a heck of a preview for what you're going to see in the postseason. Here's another look there.
So most teams wear you out on defense and rebounding and with physical play, because at the end of the day, they just physically wear you out. Scarborough wears you out with their offense. They're constantly pressuring you. They're attacking the rim. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter what the time is. What you think might not be a great shot, they're constantly putting pressure on you with their offense. That's a little different.
Frank Mitchell, 13 points, 16 boards, his 13th double-double of the season. He's dancing on the sidelines. He's having fun. And his team with a 13-point lead. Boy, everybody is eating here for the Shooting Stars. Flowers. He's trying to call play. Walker on him. Peters goes into the corner. Moon 2. Waited too long. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Here's East. Trying to high step. East fading. That's going to fall short. Walker's got it.
Another great half-court defensive set by Scarborough.
Johnson pulls up and hits. Javen Johnson, ice in his veins.
Yeah, but that was earned on the defensive end. That was a great possession by Scarborough. Absolutely great five-man possession by Scarborough. They come down in transition. Again, it's the pressure of it. They come in, they attack you in transition. Johnson having a spectacular second half.
16-5, the Shooting Stars are outscoring the Honey Badgers in this quarter. You know, everything going great here for Scarborough, Joe, but what about Brampton? What have you seen that's kind of fallen apart in their game plan here?
Well, I think, it goes back to that transition D. You can never, they had the dunk, and then they gave up the three. And I think it's just kind of got them a little bit thinking about it. So that defensive transition's got to get better. And then offensively, they're getting caught in the half court. They're just not running crisp enough stuff. They're getting caught late in the clock.
So we saw Alex Serta there, pretty emotional, tossing the clipboard. That's the first time we've seen head coach Serta, but rightly so. He's got a point to be frustrated right now.
Well, he's got to motivate his guys, saying, listen, we just got to get back to what we were doing. Like he said, in the first half, we weren't scoring, and we were in the game. Here we are scoring, but our defense has kind of failed us. So he's got to look right now to get these guys together and win this next time out.
Brampton trying to make it 3 straight wins and knock off the Kings of the East. Here's Peters driving inside on Johnson, and Johnson gets the last laugh.
Like when this team was put together, the amount of length, Johnson, Walker, incredible length and athleticism from guards.
Flowers 15-footer. Moon 2 fighting for it, and Turk Smith able to keep it in bounds. Chased by Keon Ambrose Hilton. Tynes goes baseline. He's stuck. Miner will check in on the next whistle. Johnson, 5 on the shot clock, steps back. Tynes tried on the putback, and Miller's right there.
Yeah, not enough body by Brampton on the boards. Just can't try to jump these guys.
Peters trying to get the call, not this time. And just like that, you look up at the scoreboard, and it's an 18-point lead for the Shooting Stars.
But again, look at the length. Peters has got size himself. He attacks the basket. Here you got Walker at 6'8", 6'9". He's standing up and standing back.
Hamilton and Miner into the game. 5:35 to go in the quarter, but a minute and a half away from our target score time here. Ambrose Hilton, quick dish back to his good buddy Sean East. Up top, Moon 2. And that one goes out of bounds. Boy, the 3 ball has been a struggle for Brampton, 6 of 24.
Brampton going 2-3 zone. Foster doesn't care if it's a zone, a man. He doesn't care if there's 6 on the floor. He caught it and shot it. And that's part of what Brampton does. It's pressure whenever they catch the ball within shooting range.
When you've got 18 makes as a team from deep, Tyrell Vernon's going to tell you got the green light. Hamilton has the green light. That one well off the mark.
Maybe Hamilton gave himself the green light on that one.
Smith, foul, no bucket, but free throws. So Walker talking to Serta here on the sidelines. East and Tynes coming together, the official in between here, trying to stop this side conversation from happening. Serta was upset about something there with Walker. Eventually the two are separated. Smith drops the first free throw.
Walker having an absolutely great run on the defensive end right now. You know, so they got Ayotte with foul trouble, Tynes with foul trouble, but they got Johnson and Walker.
Here's Miner up with the left. Tynes over to Smith, deep. Tynes hits from Miles Powell territory.
Logo threes.
Down low, and Miner kicks that out of bounds. So Smith with a big triple and a timeout, or check that, a warning given to the Shooting Stars. They're fired up. Frank Mitchell's tossing a towel up in the air. They're having fun over there. And Smith again, other side of the floor, no good. Moon 2 in transition, and Smith hanging on the rim there. So things getting a little bit out of hand between these two teams, and the Shooting Stars are having a ton of fun here, but
again, it's that quick clock. Yes, the shot didn't go in. Yes, they gave it the 2 points transition, but they wear you down with their offense.
East with the personal foul. The Honey Badgers and Shooting Stars run it back and play the back half of the home and home season-ending series on Monday afternoon from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. Action gets underway at 4 p.m. Eastern. That'll sure be a fun one from the ends. Foster, a lot of contact, no call, but he gets the bucket.
Foster showing us a lot today, inside and out, knocking down the three, under control.
Miner spinning inside, off the window. Next whistle will get us to target score time. Here is Tynes. Still playing with 4 fouls. Miller tried to slip Hamilton. Instead, Tynes keeps the basketball, and he was blocked there. Now gets it back in the corner, and East has it. Looking to push, and Scarborough does foul. That's been the tactic by many teams, especially those that aren't in fear of any shooting penalty.
This Scarborough team's got 3 NBA guys in Foster, Smith, and Powell that all have had NBA experience, and they're showing you why.
So the first to 107 takes all the 117, I should say, takes all the marbles. 108-89. Scarborough on the brinks of their 19th win of the season. Stick around. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. Perfect start to the fourth quarter by the Scarborough Shooting Stars, 108-89 on top of the Brampton Honey Badgers here at the CAA Center. We've hit target score time, first to 117 wins. And Joe, this run by the Shooting Stars, 6 players in double-digit points in the game, led by Miles Powell, who's got 26.
Yeah, you know what? The run started when the tip-off. Like, this team has been on fire offensively since the start of the game. And they haven't played to the score. They keep playing the same way.
So the Shooting Stars have outscored Brampton 25-11 so far in this quarter. Ball goes out of bounds, and Coy Uat says it's Scarborough ball. Instead, it's going to stay down at that end of the floor.
But how about Turk Smith? That's his 3rd real big-time defensive play he's made this half.
Eze comes back in. Smith showing all parts of his game tonight.
I just think the fact that Scarborough likes to compete.
Foster, Uat, Powell, Mitchell, and Smith on the floor for the Shooting Stars. Flowers, Hamilton fires that 3, and he knocks it down. He's joined by Flowers, Moon2, Eze, and Peters.
Well, that's the one real bright spot today, I think, for Brampton, is getting something out of Flowers.
Foster, sky-high triple, no good. Flowers pulls down his 9th rebound along with 18 points. Contact there. Hamilton this time chooses to drive and draws the foul down low. See who this one's on.
It's a simple game, isn't it? You just make a 3, so what happens? They're going to come at you. Now I use that to make my next play, and Hamilton gets himself to the rim and then to the free throw line.
Mitchell with his 3rd personal foul. Hamilton to the line. This Scarborough Shooting Stars team had a crazy 19-point comeback earlier this year in the ends. That was against the Saskatoon Mamba. Brampton Honey Badgers trying to give them a taste of their own medicine here. So both teams, again, clinched playoff spots, trying to chase their 2nd title in franchise history. Both sitting at 1 apiece. They won back-to-back years. 2022 for Brampton, 2023 for Scarborough, and a foul on Moon2.
And you watch Powell, like, he's the cagey vet on this. Moon2's trying to block him from getting the ball, and he uses it to his advantage.
Here's Johnson. Waiting, and connects.
So many weapons on this Scarborough team.
Moon2. Over to Peters. He steps in. Hamilton, pocket triple, and Ize's got the board. Mitchell in his way, and Frank gets the defensive stop. Hamilton misses the layup. Moontu sends Powell flying, steps to his right, in and out. Hamilton's got it again, and finally a foul is called.
I think Frank Mitchell's a master of getting in your way. Like he just, at the end of it, there's bodies on the ground. Somebody picks up the ball. Mitchell's up there smiling, maybe a little dance here or there.
Well, he's got 4 fouls, and he's still smiling. I bet you he is not coming out of this game. So Hamilton back at the stripe here. First free throw is short. Sean East will come back in the game here for Brampton. For the shooter, if Hamilton can hit here.
You know, we're talking about competing. Brampton down 17. They got another game to go. They got playoffs next week. What do? They put Sean East right back into the game. See, in target score, it forces you to play better players. So if this was a 18-point regular game and a regular basketball game, starters would have been out. You, as fans, you wouldn't have that opportunity. But because it's target score, all the starters are on the floor.
Powell uses the screen. Mitchell, another big offensive board. Smith in the corner, driving baseline. Up top, Powell fake over Flowers, in and out, and Ize able to pull down the rebound, his 8th. He's 2 boards away from a double-double. Sets the screen there for Sean. Moontu. Smith was giving him the 3. Ize, 2 more.
Yeah, he worked for that. He started with the rebound on the defensive end.
Ball is loose, and foul is called. Uat was hit in the face. Hamilton looks like he's going to pick up his 5th foul.
Yeah, and I think that's worth a conversation because I want to see if they got the right guy here. Like, it looked like there might have been some clutching and grabbing, and I think Uat did a great job of selling it.
Oh, they're going the other way now. Ikoy Uat's turn to get upset. He's talking to the official now, trying to figure out what went wrong. And, Joe, you were bang on there.
Yeah, the value of a conversation. Officials got together, try to get it right.
Did you ever ref?
Oh, yeah, every game I ever coached, I ref. I made some great calls.
So a technical foul has been called. I believe they said it was on the bench. Turk Smith talking to the official now. And a timeout has been called on the floor.
Yeah, if you're Scarborough, the one thing you don't want to do in a game like this is derail yourself. They have played absolutely spectacular basketball for 36 minutes.
Here's a little bit of that bad boy Piston stuff leaking in here. They're competitive, they're physical, and they don't give up. They're 7 points away from their 19th win of the season, and instead they're getting upset about foul calls. Tyrell Vernon having an animated conversation here with the official to the right of his timeout. In the meantime, Alex Serta drawing up a play here. So just all around great stuff here from the Shooting Stars tonight. The box score, double-digit points all around, and just a performance that you just kind of shake your head at.
Yeah, and, you know, Matt, I'm going to go back. If this was a regular basketball game, Brampton would have been done. The fans would have left. The game would have been over. But because of target score, there's always a little bit of hope. And here you've got a situation right now where Brampton's going to go to the free throw line, shoot the technical, get the ball back, have some more opportunities. And Brampton's going to try to get Scarborough to play not to lose. And then all of a sudden change the momentum. Is it very difficult? Yeah, and probably impossible? No. But there's a chance, and target score gives you hope.
So Sean East, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Now 16 points. 15 of those coming in the second half. So East has found the spark in the third and fourth quarters, but as of now, it won't be enough. So there was a bench technical there after the foul on Ikoy Uat. East hits the single. Now Brampton will take over. Moon 2 thought about it. Flowers. Pushing baseline. 5 on the shot clock. Flowers steps back. That's an automatic shot for him, but not this time. Here's Smith in transition. Somehow, over 2 Brampton defenders, the amazing Turk does it again.
That was spectacular. It started off with great team defense by Scarborough after that timeout.
Turk's got 25 points, and Eze has a slam. So he has carved out a nice night. That is Eze, 14 points. Mitchell, nice passing, and Johnson was going for the big-time slam.
Nice execution by Scarborough there. And Mitchell is such a good passer. Like, we saw him make a great cross-court pass from the post. He did a nice job there rolling to the basket of keeping his eyes open.
He's quick for a big guy, to say the least. He's got just about everything. You know what? The league needs more Frank Mitchells. Personality, fire, flair, and a smile all the time.
And the nice thing is, like, this is his first pro experience. When people watch film of him playing all over the world and they see who he's playing against, you're going to see this guy make some big jumps next year in where he goes and where he goes after that. Just big man with good hands and mean intentions.
And it's no secret, folks, Scarborough has done a great job of retaining players as Hamilton collects 3. So the Shooting Stars, 1 bucket away from the ball game. Powell no good.
It's one of the few times you saw them play to the score. Now they're hunting the 3. In that case, Powell had the first attempt.
Hamilton. Ambrose Hilton, Flowers goes in the corner, drives in himself, up with the left. Powell rips it down. Here's Smith. Over to Frank Mitchell. He talks up on the reverse. Oh, Frank Mitchell with a look for the Brampton bench.
Man, nice footwork. The Euro step, the finish on the reverse side.
Flowers on the reverse of his own. Here's Powell. Single point will do it. Powell drives, drawing contact, and Miles Powell will head to the free throw line with a chance to seal it.
And only fitting that the pressure of their offense, which has just worn Brampton down, they have an opportunity to finish the game, a full court attack at somebody, get to the free throw line.
5 fouls for Hamilton, and for those wondering at home, just under 20% of games this season across the CEBL have ended at the free throw line. So it's not that common. Powell at the line, chance to win it. 26 points to his name tonight. Miles. In and out.
He's just playing the crowd, that's all.
I think he knows what he's doing.
He's just playing the crowd.
Flowers shaking Powell's hand. So Powell, don't get it confused, he's an 82% free throw shooter. Talk to his teammate Smith here for a moment while they get the floor cleaned up on the baseline.
And Powell does the experience thing. He steps away from the free throw line, now gathers himself.
Miles Powell, let's try this again. 26 points so far, looking for 27. Powell for the ball game. Yes! Scarborough shows Brampton that the crown still fits. The Kings of the East pick up their 19th win of the season.
Yeah, what a great performance by Brampton and Scarborough. But Scarborough, in a situation all about pride. They came out here and played maybe one of their best game offensively all season. And for like nothing about the standings, just about personal pride and pride of the program. That's scary.
Teams have been put on alert if they already weren't. The Scarborough Shooting Stars are legit. Miles Powell, a game-high 27 points. Terquavian Smith, 25 of his own, and 20 for Javen Johnson. Those three on their own put on an absolute clinic tonight, Joe.
They certainly did. We talked about that backcourt and the potential that backcourt had, and we saw it all game by, Turk and Powell, but then we saw Javen Johnson in the second half. Wow. They are cooking.
The recipe is there. The Shooting Stars now just one win away from setting a CEBL record, an all-time record for most wins in the season. It was previously held by the Vancouver Bandits. And Miles Powell has been the man of the match. He was go-to all night. 6 big three-pointers, 4 assists, and 27 points. Oh, D, I hope you're ready to dance. Miles Powell is our Booster Juice player of the game.
Miles, from the moment you walked in this building, you had a smile on the face, and it was infectious, and you carried it on through the very end. Talk about the motivation and the inspiration behind tonight's performance.
Like I said, we was just chasing 20 wins. We know that we won today. We had tied the record for the most wins in regular season history. So we just been trying to stay motivated within ourselves. We're not trying to look at everybody else as us. That's what we've been saying all year. So we're just trying to figure it out.
I'm glad the squad's here because you scored the most points you've scored this season. We had 6 players in double figures. How proud of you are, not just offensively, the all-around effort here today.
Like I said, it doesn't matter who's doing it as long as it gets done. Everybody lean on each other to pick each other up. So that's what I'm saying. It's been a family all year, and it showed tonight.
Now, you already mentioned it, 20 wins potentially on Monday, which would be a league record. What is your pitch to Scarborough fans, and how special will that be?
It'd be very special, just a tribute to what we did all year. We want the fans to come out as OVO night on Monday as our last regular season home game. So like I said, we're chasing history.
He's not just a bucket getter, but he's a promo guy as well. Congratulations.
Before we end this, MVP right here, best team in the league. Like, there's no debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're serious, he's serious. That's what it is. That's what it is. MVP right here.
There you go. You got the campaign going. Congratulations, guys, and good luck on Monday.
Good stuff. Thank you, D. Frank Mitchell showing us his ballot. Miles Powell showing us a little bit of everything tonight. 117-104 the final. Scarborough taking down Brampton. We're going to break it all down on the other side. Stick around. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. There's doubleheader action in the CEBL tomorrow. First, it's a battle for first place in the Cal Tire Western Conference as the Winnipeg Sea Bears are in Vancouver to take on Mitch Creek and the Bandits, with the winners securing home court throughout the Western playoffs. Catch the action live nationally on CBC at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Then, the Ottawa Blackjacks and Edmonton Stingers close out their regular seasons against each other from the Edmonton Expo Center. Tip-off from the Alberta Capital at 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. Well, the Scarborough Shooting Stars 117, the Brampton Honey Badgers 104. Joe, just dominance across the board. You know, you figure if you out-rebound the best rebounding team in the league, Brampton winning the rebounding battle 59-41 tonight, you give yourself a chance. But then you look at the players they have, the three-headed beast of Turk Smith, Miles Powell, Javen Johnson. This guy right here, Charles Bediako, played a half. I mean, they have so many weapons that they can play with here, and they showed us that tonight.
And more dangerous than that, they had confidence. And that confidence was unbelievable. They did an absolutely great job of using that confidence and shooting the ball well. This was a performance, and I think they could have got the Knicks tonight.
19 three-pointers for the Shooting Stars. They averaged 10 a game. They shot 43% from deep. Everything was working for them. And that's the scary part, right? I mean, you mentioned supporting cast in the pregame, Joe. The supporting cast stepped up. They had 6 players in double digits.
Yeah, they had a whole pile of fun. I didn't see that fourth quarter rally coming, and they came hard, and they didn't stop right to the very end. This team is ready to make a championship run.
As for the Honey Badgers, they go back to the drawing board with a game on Monday in the Pan Am Center.
Looking good. Playoffs around the corner. I'm all excited. I'm looking forward to the matchup here next week. We'll find out tomorrow who's Brampton's going to host.
Well, that makes 3 of us. Excitement in the Canadian Elite Basketball League Season 8 coming right down to the wire. 117-104, your final score from Brampton. The Shooting Stars take down the Honey Badgers. On behalf of my partner, Joe Rasso, our sideline guy, Dee Balsera, our producer, Mason, and our entire talented technical crew for the whole season, thank you for joining us, and thanks for choosing the Canadian Elite Basketball League. So long.
Knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way. With your pen top, time for some action.